Good afternoon. My name is Alejandro Zapata. I am currently attending EEL 4789 with Alexander Pons, and today I will be talking about ways to protect your business network and information. The contents of this presentation are solely for ethical and educational purposes only. Some of the things we'll be talking about today are privacy and data. We're going to ask ourselves a couple questions about how we handle our data. We're going to develop a privacy policy. We're going to talk about how to protect our types of data. We're going to create layers of security. We're going to talk about plans for data loss. We're going to talk about training employees to recognize social engineering, protect against malware, be aware of spyware and adware, and we're going to talk about network security methods. At the end, I'll display a couple of helpful links and references. Privacy and data. Data security is crucial for small businesses. Customer and client information, payment information, personal files, bank account details, all of this information is often impossible to replace if lost and dangerous in the hands of criminals. Data loss due to disasters such as flood or fire is devastating, but losing it to hackers or a malware infection can have far greater consequences. How you handle and protect your data is central to the security of your business and the privacy expectations of customers, employees, and partners. Your business's data may include customer data such as account records, transactions, accountability and financial information, contact and address information, purchasing history, buying habits and preferences, as well as employee information like payroll files, direct payroll account information, and social security numbers. You have to ask yourself a couple questions about your cybersecurity plan. What kind of data do you have in your business? A typical business will have all kinds of data, some of it more valuable and sensitive than others, but all data has value to someone. Most businesses need data to be moved and used throughout the company. To be meaningful, data must be accessed and used by employees, analyzed and researched for marketing purposes, used to contract customers, and even shared with key partners. Every time data moves, it can be exposed to different dangers. As a small business owner, you should have a straightforward plan and policy to set guidelines. How is data handled and protected? Security experts are fond of saying that data is most at risk when it's on the move. It's all your business-related data resided on a single computer or server that is not connected to the internet and never left that computer. It would probably be very easy to protect. Who has access to that data and under what circumstances? Not every employee needs access to all of your information. Your market staff shouldn't need to be allowed to view employee payroll data, and your administrative staff may not need access to all your customer information. Your business could have a variety of data, including customer sales records, customer credit card transactions, customer mailing and email lists, customer support information, customer warranty information, patient health or medical records, and employee payroll records. Develop a privacy policy. Privacy is most important for your business and your customers' continued trust in your business practices, products, and secure handling of your clients' unique information impacts your profitability. Your privacy policy is a pledge to your customers that you will use and protect their information in ways that they expect and that adhere to your legal obligations. Once you've identified your data, keep a record of its location and move it to more appropriate locations as needed. Types of data to protect. There's basically two types. First one would be personally identifiable information, which often is referred to as PII. This information includes such things as first and last names, home or business addresses, email addresses, credit card and bank account numbers, taxpayer identification numbers, patient numbers, and social security numbers. It can also include gender, age, and date of birth, city of birth or residence, driver's license number, home and cell phone numbers. The other type is customer information. This includes payment information such as credit and debit card numbers and verification codes, billing and shipping addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, purchasing history, buying preferences, and shopping behavior. You must create layers of security. Protecting data, like any other security challenge, is about creating layers of protection. The idea of layering security is simple. You cannot and should not rely on just one security mechanism, such as a password, to protect something sensitive. If that security mechanism fails, you have nothing left to protect you. When it comes to data security, there are a number of key procedural and technical layers you should consider. The first one would be to inventory your data. We mentioned before the need to conduct a data inventory so you have a complete picture of all your data your business possesses and controls. It's essential to get a complete inventory so you don't overlook some sensitive data that could be exposed. The other one would be identify and protect your sensitive and valuable data. Data classification is one of the most important steps in data security. Not all data is created equally, and few businesses have the time or resources to provide maximum protection to all their data. The last one would be control access to your data. No matter what kind of data you have, you must control access to it. The more sensitive the data, the more restrictive the access. As a general rule, access to data should be on a need-to-know basis. Only individuals who have a specific need to access certain data should be allowed to do so. You must have a plan for data loss or theft. Every business has a plan for the unexpected, and that includes the loss or theft of data from businesses. Not only can the loss or theft of data hurt your business brand and customer confidence, it can also expose you to the often costly state of federal regulations that cover data protection and privacy. Data loss can also expose businesses to significant litigation risk. This is why it is critical to understand exactly what data or security breach regulations affect your business and how to prepare when you have to respond to them. That should be the foundation of data breach response plan that will make it easier to launch a rapid and coordinated response to any loss of or theft of data. You must train your employees to recognize social engineering. Social engineering, also known as pretexting, is used by many criminals, both online and off, to trick unsuspecting people into giving away their personal information and or installing malicious software onto their computers, devices, or networks. Social engineering is successful because the bad guys are doing their best to make their work look and sound legitimate, sometimes even helpful, which makes it easier to deceive users. Protect against online fraud. Online fraud takes on many guises that can impact everyone, including small businesses and their employees. It is helpful to maintain consistent and predictable online messaging when communicating with your customers to prevent others from impersonating your company. Be sure to never request personal information or account details through email, social networking, or other online messages. Let your customers know you will never request this kind of information through such channels and instruct them to contact you directly should they have any concerns. You should train your employees to not fall for fake antivirus offers. Fake antivirus, scareware, and other rogue online security scams have been behind some of the most successful online frauds in recent times. Make sure your organization has a policy in place explaining what the procedure is if an employee's computer becomes infected by a virus. Train your employees to recognize a legitimate warning and to properly notify your IT team if something bad or questionable has happened. If possible, configure your computers to not allow regular users to have administrative access. Protect against malware. Businesses can experience a compromise through the introduction of malicious software or malware. Malware can make its way onto machines from the internet, downloads, attachments, emails, social media, and other platforms. One specific malware to be aware of is keylogger, which is malware that tracks a user's keyboard strokes. Many businesses are victim to keylogging malware being installed on computer systems in their environment. Once installed, the malware can record keystrokes made on a computer, allowing bad guys to see passwords, credit card numbers, and other confidential data. Keeping security software up to date and patching your computers regularly will make it more difficult for this type of malware to infiltrate your network. Be aware of spyware and adware. Spyware and adware, when installed, will send pop-ups, redirect to certain websites, and monitor websites that you visit. Extreme versions can track what keys are typed. Spyware can cause your computer to become slow and also leave you susceptible to privacy theft. If you are subject to endless pop-up windows or are regularly redirected to websites other than what you type in your browser, your computer is likely infected with spyware. Network security. Network security is another very big component to cyber security planning. Securing your company's network consists of identifying all devices and connections on the network, setting boundaries between your company's system and others, and enforcing controls to ensure that unauthorized access, misuse, or denial of service events can be thwarted or rapidly contained and recovered from if they do occur. Secure internal networks and cloud services. Your company's network should be separated from the public internet by strong user authentication mechanisms and policy enforcement systems such as firewalls and web filtering proxies. Additional monitoring and security solutions such as antivirus software and intrusion detection systems should be employed to identify and stop malicious code or unauthorized access attempts. Develop strong password policies. Password policies should encourage your employees to employ the strongest passwords possible without creating the need or temptation to reuse passwords or write them down. That means passwords that are random, complex, and long, at least 10 characters, that are changed regularly and that are closely guarded by those who know them. Generally speaking, two-factor authentication methods, which require two types of evidence that you are who you claim to be, are safer than using just static passwords for authentication. One common example is a personal security token that displays changing passcodes to be used in conjunction with an established password. However, two-factor systems may not always be possible or practical for your company. Internal non-public WLAN access should be restricted to specific devices and specific users to the greatest extent possible while meeting your company's business needs. where the internal WLAN has less stringent access controls than your company's wired network, dual connections, where a device is able to connect to both the wireless and wired networks simultaneously, should be prohibited by technical controls on each such capable device. All users should be given unique credentials with preset expiration dates to use when accessing the internal WLAN. Your company may choose to operate a wireless local area network for the use of customers, guests, and visitors. If so, it is important that such a WLAN be kept separate from main company networks, so that traffic from public network cannot traverse the company's internal system at any point. Due to demonstrable security flaws known to exist in older forms of wireless encryption, your company's internal WLAN should only employ Wi-Fi protected access to encryption. Encrypt sensitive data for your company. Encryption should be employed to protect any data that your company considers sensitive, in addition to meeting applicable regulatory requirements and information safeguarding. Different encryption schemes are appropriate under different circumstances. However, applications that comply with the open PGP standards such as PGP and GNU-PG provide a wide range of options for securing data on disks, as well as in transit. If you choose to offer secure transactions via your company's website, consult with your service provider about available options for SSL certificate on your site. Regularly update all your applications. All systems and software, including networking equipment, should be updated in a timely fashion as patches and firmware upgrades become available. Use automatic updating services whenever possible, especially for security systems such as anti-malware applications, web filtering tools, and intrusion prevention systems. Set safe web browsing rules. Your company's internal network should only be able to be accessed by those services and resources on the internet that are essential to the business and needs of your employees. Use the safe browsing features included with modern web browsing software and a web proxy to ensure that malicious or unauthorized sites cannot be accessed from your internal network. If remote access is enabled, make sure it is secure. If your company needs to provide remote access to your company's internal network over the internet, one popular and secure option is to employ a secure virtual private network, a VPN. Systems accompanied by strong two-factor authentication, using either hardware or software tokens. Ensure employees never put any unknown flash drive or USB into their computer. As the U.S. Chamber's Internet Security Essentials for Business 2.0 states, small businesses should set a policy so that employees know they should never open a file from a flash drive they are not familiar with, and should hold down the shift key when inserting the flash drive to block malware. These are a couple helpful links that will assist you in building your cybersecurity plan to protect your network and information. These are a couple of the references that I was using for this presentation. I also have to thank the textbook, very useful. I have to thank the professor, Mr. Pons. I definitely learned a lot in this class. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.